Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today, we're making deep fried ice cream. Now, on one of my first trips outside the US, I went to Mexico and was introduced to this dessert. This was such a cool and unique, delicious frozen dessert that I had to learn how to make it at home. And you'll be shocked on how easy it is to make too. So, let's get started.
Alright, so for the ingredients, we're going to need 1.5 quarts worth of vanilla ice cream, 3 cups of vanilla wafer cookies, 2 cups of cornflakes cereal, half a cup of pecans, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon sugar, 2 large eggs, and for garnishment, we're going to use some chocolate syrup, whipped cream, and some cherries on top. So to get things started, in a large food processor, you want to add in your vanilla wafer cookies, the cornflakes, the pecans, as well as the cinnamon sugar. You want to process all of these ingredients together until fine crumbs remain. And you just want to place these crumbs into a large size bowl. Now separately, you want to line a cupcake pan with plastic wrap. And scoop out balls of vanilla ice cream using a large ice cream scoop, placing each scoop into the cupcake holes of the pan. Depending on the size of your ice cream scoop, you can end up with between 7 to 12 servings. Now you want to cover this ice cream with plastic wrap and freeze them until they're solid, and overnight is best. So while this recipe is really simple, it does take a couple days to make because of the freezing process. So just keep that in mind if you want to tackle this recipe. But while we wait for our vanilla ice cream to freeze again, this is the perfect time to smash that like button for me. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people. And if you want to see more videos and recipes like this one, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to click that bell to be notified when my next video drops. And stay tuned until the end of this video for a sneak peek of the recipe coming next week. So with little TV magic, our ice cream has had a day to set up, and now we're ready to move on to the second phase of this recipe. So in a small bowl, you want to beat 2 eggs together to create an egg wash. And you should have your fine crumb mixture set aside in a separate bowl. And now you can remove your ice cream balls from the freezer. So for the coating process, you want to first dip your ice cream balls into the breaded mixture, and then transfer them to the egg wash, and then finally back into the crumb mixture. And a big tip I would recommend for this recipe is that when you're handling the ice cream, you always want to wear powder-free nitrile gloves. For one, it reduces the temperature that your hands expose the ice cream to, so they can stay frozen as long as possible. And 2, this can become a kind of a messy job when it comes to coating, and so you always want to keep one hand designated for the dry mixture and then the other hand for the egg wash. And so you want to repeat this coating process until all the balls of ice cream have a nice coat on them. And I would do your best to handle the ice cream as little as possible. So when you're dipping it in the crumb mixture, you should be able to toss the ice cream balls in the bowl that they're sitting in to allow the crumbs to gather on top. And so now, once all of your ice cream has been fully coated, you want to transfer them back into the cupcake pan on new, fresh plastic wrap. That way, any former ice cream that was previously on the cupcake pan is removed, and it won't mess up your coating. So using clean plastic wrap, you want to loosely cover each ice cream ball in plastic wrap prior to placing them back in the freezer. And you're going to allow these coated ice cream balls to freeze overnight once again. And covering them in plastic wrap will prevent freezer burn from occurring. So the next day, we're ready to fry. You want to heat the oil to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 204 degrees Celsius in a deep fryer or a large pot filled with vegetable oil. And so one at a time, you want to remove your ice cream balls from the freezer and fry them for a few seconds or until the entire outside is golden. And this does only need a few seconds, as if you fry it for too long, the vanilla ice cream inside will begin to melt and seep through the coating. And you want to repeat this process with each ice cream ball, but only working with one at a time, as you don't have much time between frying them and plating them before your ice cream inside decides to melt. So keep that in mind if you're preparing this dish for a group of people in the near future. So once your ice cream ball is done frying, you want to gently transfer them to a paper towel to absorb any of that excess oil, and then transfer it to your serving plate. So once the deep fried ice cream is on our serving plate, you want to act relatively quickly while garnishing it. So I like to drizzle on some chocolate syrup to start, and then I like to add on some dollops of whipped cream, and as a final touch, of course, a cherry on top. And just like that, you've made deep fried ice cream at home. Like I mentioned earlier, I fell in love with this dish the first time I had it, and I knew I had to learn how to make it at home myself. And as you all can see, it's really easy to make. It's just a bunch of preparation prior to frying. But this is definitely one of the best ways to elevate a typical ice cream scoop. And if I can offer any tips for this recipe, is that the double freezing method I used in this recipe is mandatory. You have to make sure that the ice cream is frozen solid before the coating process. And you also want to make sure that all the ice cream is completely covered by the crumb mixture, or it'll melt as soon as it hits the hot oil. And you always want to use your first ball of ice cream as a tester to determine how long you need to fry the other ones. So I hope that helps you on your journey of trying this recipe at home. As always, this recipe and many more can be found in my cookbook, Chef Vic Cuisine Volume 2, Elevating Your Inner Chef. And that's available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that in the description box. And feel free to click the pop-up on the screen for more information on that as well. Now, let's cut into this ice cream and see how we did. I mean, come on, look how tasty this looks. I'd send you all a virtual spoon to take the first bite with me if I could. But if this dessert looks good to you, make sure to smash that like button for me and hit the subscribe button to see more tasty recipes like this one. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified when my next video drops. And stay tuned for next week, where I show you how to make another easy, delicious breakfast recipe, coffee cake. Well, thank you all so much for watching again. Feel free to watch more recipes on my page now, and I'll see you on another episode of Chef Vic Cuisine. And until then, peace.